I never thought I'd be the one to air our dirty laundry in public. But sometimes, the only way to clean house is to drag everything into the light. My name's Emily, and this all started in the dusty outskirts of Austin, Texas, where the sun beats down like it's got a personal grudge, and family ties are supposed to be thicker than the Rio Grande. I'd built my life here, running a small nonprofit helping at-risk kids in the hill country. The kind of work that keeps you grounded amid the chaos of big cities sprawl bleeding into ranch land. But home, that was the old family spread in the suburbs. A rambling ranch-style house with creaky wooden porches and a kitchen that always smelled like fresh-baked cornbread and coffee strong enough to wake the dead. That weekend, I pulled up in my beat-up Ford pickup, dust kicking up behind me like a bad omen. I'd brought a box of collages from the local bakery, those sweet, doughy pastries Mom, Susan,
swore by.
She was in the living room, fussing over tea sets like we were hosting the Queen of England instead of just family. Sunlight streamed through the lace curtains, painting everything in that warm, golden Texas glow. "Hey, Mom," I said, setting the box down. She gave me a quick smile, barely glancing up from arranging the silverware. "Emily, you're early. We're just pulling out the old photo albums for the slideshow tomorrow." The coffee table was piled high with those leather-bound monsters, each one a time capsule of our lives. Mom handed me the top one. "This is for the engagement brunch slideshow. Take a look." I flipped it open, expecting the usual mix: birthdays, holidays, all of us together. But page after page,
It was all Katie.
Katie at 5, smeared with cake frosting at a backyard barbecue. Katie in her cheerleader uniform for the high school homecoming game. Katie graduating from UT Austin.
Cap tossed high.
Not a single shot of me. My heart did a little flip, like missing a step on the porch stairs. I paged faster, the glossy photos blurring.
"Mom,
"Where are the ones with me?" She chuckled softly, not even pausing her setup. "Oh, honey, we couldn't find any that really captured you right. You're always so busy with that nonprofit of yours, head down, getting things done. You know how you are. Always flying solo." I shut the album with a thud that echoed a bit too loud in the quiet room. No one batted an eye. I excused myself to the kitchen, pretending to check the kettle. But really, I needed to steady my shaking hands against the cool granite counter. Last year, I'd spent weekends digitizing hundreds of family photos, me in my college debate team sweater, fishing with Dad on Lake Travis. Even that goofy shot of us all at the state fair.
Gone. Not lost.
Erased. Like I'd never been there. By evening, I holed up in the guest room, what used to be my old bedroom, now feeling like a hotel suite for strangers. The window was cracked, letting in the chirp of crickets and the distant hum of highway traffic. I wasn't eavesdropping, but voices carried from down the hall. "She's on edge," Mom said, her voice cool as a cucumber. "Just keep it sweet. We'll get her to sign off on those financial papers next week." Then Katie, with that sugar-sweet drawl she pulls out when she's scheming, "I'll play the 'I miss our sister bond' card. It'll soften her up." My chest tightened like a vice. This wasn't a family gathering, it was a setup. A calculated play, where I was the mark without a clue. Lying there, staring at the ceiling fan whirring lazily, I racked my brain for the last time this place felt like home. I'd shown up for everything: Katie's messy divorce, Mom's hip surgery, where I rearranged my whole schedule to nurse her back, Dad's birthdays with his favorite brisket from the smoker.
Now,
I was a liability to manage. "Blood's thicker than water," I whispered to the empty room, eyes stinging. But sometimes, it's the blood that drowns you. The lamp flickered, old wiring. Like so much in this house that no one fixed.
I rolled over.
The knot in my gut twisting. Being ghosted by your own kin hurts worse than any hollering match. My phone buzzed on the nightstand. A group text from Katie. Can't wait for the big surprise tomorrow. Ring. Attached was a photo, her in a sleek white dress. Hand intertwined with a guy's. His back to the camera. But I knew that build. That stance.
Henry.
My Henry. My fiancé. My hand froze. The screen blurring. The backyard string lights twinkled like fireflies on steroids, casting a romantic haze over the picnic tables laden with wine and appetizers. I'd spent the afternoon helping Mom set up what she called a casual supper. No fuss. Just family. But stepping out, I saw the full spread. Wildflower centerpieces. Place cards. Even a banner with intertwined initials. What's all this? I asked, nodding at the banner. Mom wiped her hands on her apron. Just a little something. You'll see. The sliding door opened, and applause broke out. All eyes on Katie, strutting like she owned the rodeo in that white satin number. And holding her hand,
Henry.
My knees locked to keep me upright. Mom raised her glass. Y'all, thanks for coming. We're thrilled for Katie and Henry. They've found true love and are talking the plunge. Cheers. Claps. Knowing smiles all around. Like this was scripted. And I was the only one off book. My pulse hammered. But I stayed stone still.
Dad.
Andrew, off to the side with his bourbon, muttered, Don't make a scene. Emily. Katie met my eyes. All faux innocence. It just happened.
Cease.
Love's unpredictable. Be happy for us. Aunt Maggie touched my arm. Breathe. Darlin'. I didn't. I turned, walked inside like wading through molasses. In the hallway, I spotted Katie's purse on the bench. Her phone peeking out next to a receipt from the boutique where I'd custom-ordered my engagement dress. I picked it up, identical design. Mom's voice behind me. Fits her like a glove. No sense wasting it.
Spoon.
You gave her my dress? She sighed.
Timid. Honey.
She's ready. You're. Always hesitatin'. I dropped the receipt and bolted out the front, gravel crunching underfoot. No one noticed me leave. In my truck, I sat a full minute before starting the engine. Betrayal from strangers stings, from family. It carves you hollow. I drove aimlessly, ending up in an empty lot by a shuttered bookstore. My phone buzzed, Katie. I know it's tough, but he's always loved me more. You'll get it someday. I almost laughed. The absurdity hitting like a freight train. The next morning, I woke in that guest bed, still in my wrinkled dress. Mascara tracks like war paint. The house was unnaturally quiet for a place that used to echo with laughter and arguments. I pulled my hair back, splashed water on my face, and headed downstairs. The kitchen smelled of fresh cinnamon rolls, Katie's go-to comfort food. Everyone was at the table, Mom at the head, Katie beside, Henry like a trophy wife in training, Dad across, buttering toast like it was his job. Mornin', Mom chirped. I nodded, sliding into the empty chair next to my niece, who avoided my gaze. Katie dabbed her eyes theatrically. I didn't want to say, but after last night, I don't feel safe. The room froze. She threatened me, said I'd regret this, that she'd destroy us. My fork clattered.
What?
I never. Mom patted Katie's hand. It's okay.
Sweetie.
Brave of you to speak up. Dad stared at his plate. I didn't threaten anyone, I said, scanning faces. Katie, you grabbed me? looked ready to swing. Mom cut in. We're not reliving your drama. Emily. Don't make it worse for her. Worse for her? She'd swipe my man, my dress, my life, and I was the villain. No one met my eyes. They'd flipped the script overnight. I stood, chair scraping. Excuse me. Up in the attic. Dust motes dancing in the sunbeams. I dug through boxes labeled Emily stuff. Under old yearbooks. An envelope in Dad's handwriting. My girl. You've always been the rock here. Don't let M define you. Unsung words. But they lit a fire. I sifted through photos. Awards from my nonprofit work. Proof I'd existed. Mattered. Downstairs. Voices. I crept to the stairs, catching Henry on the phone. Nah. She won't push back. Emily's a pushover. That's why it was easy. My grip tightened on the rail.
Easy?
2 days later. In my condo, overlooking the Colorado River. I shredded old papers to clear my head. A manila envelope tumbled out. Engagement budget. Spreadsheets in my handwriting. Costs for venue. Flowers, all mine. Checking my bank app. Transactions glared. Deposits to vendors. Memos like Henry and Katie alterations from my account. Post-breakup. Breath caught. I called the planner. Friend of Emily Sinclair, confirm in April booking. Cheerful response. All set. Will she be a guest? Hanging up. I called my best friend Laura on speaker. He's still using my money. Silence. Then they didn't just steal your guy, they robbed you blind and gaslit you into footing the bill. I nodded to the empty room. Funded my own funeral. Laura. What now? Documented all. Printer whirring. I compiled statements. Invoices. Screenshots. Mechanical at first, then empowering. Around dusk. Phone rang unknown. MS. Sinclair? Tom Kendrick. Your parents' estate lawyer. Your guardianship's been reassigned. You're off the will. I straightened. When? Recent. Thought you should know. The pieces clicked. Not just emotional wipeout. Legal too. I spent the evening cross-referencing. They'd forged changes. Notary?
Henry.
Married into the money before the vows. I texted Laura a pic of the docs. She called. This is fraud.
Eminencia.
Hit M where it hurts.
No tears.
No screams, just resolve brewing like a West Texas storm. The sky outside my window turned that deep indigo. City lights twinkling like distant stars. My laptop screen glowed with a timeline of evidence, dual wills. Audio snippets from overheard convos. I'd started recording after the first red flag. Texts plotting to bury me. Unedited. Factual. I titled the file Blood and Boundaries. Hovering over upload, I scheduled a live stream. YouTube.
Linkage.
Blast to nonprofit contacts and a couple journalists. 9 p.m.
Click.
Green banner, scheduled. 2 minutes later, viewers trickled in. 12. 58. 742. Then 5,000 plus. Comments. This is wild. She's got proof. A text from Katie. You're ruining us. Worth it. Screenshot. Pinned to the stream. Standing tall. I stepped away. Sipingtel. Gazing at a framed photo of Dad and me at a rodeo. No revenge high, just peace. At 2 a.m. Email. Mediation request. Family only. From Mom. I stared. Game on. But on my terms. The mediator's office was all glass and steel downtown. Neutral as a referee in a bar brawl. Mom at the table's end. Posture like a drill sergeant. Katie fidgety. Dad silent. Mediator. Pathways to resolution. I cut in. I'm here to end it. Mom, we've all erred. I eyed her. Errors? You built a cage of lies. I just opened the door. Katie mouthed something, sorry? Too late. I slid an envelope. Withdraw in all claims. Keep the junk. I got my voice back. Mom, dramatic much? You taught me showbiz. I stood, walked out. Phone buzzed. 112K views. Chronicle interview request. In the elevator, I saw my reflection, steady,
Free.
at the rooftop cafe atop the library. Wind rustling napkins. I met Jen from the Chronicle. Not for drama, I said. For truth. She nodded, noting as I spilled. Forged will. Gaslit funding. Headline later. Betrayed and boundaried, turning family fraud into freedom. It went viral. Emails poured in. You gave me courage. Consequences hit. Church distanced from mom. Sponsors dropped Katie. Agencies fired Henry. Not my doing, truth's echo. I hosted a support night at a community center. Silence no more. Women shared, cried, empowered. One lingered. Thanks for the light. Next day. Courier. Old photo of Dad and me on the ranch. No note, silent apology. I placed it beside my nonprofit launch pic. Phone comment. Saved my life. Stepping into sunlight. I smiled. Truth heals. Weeks after the mediation. The dust hadn't settled. It was more like a sandstorm whipping through our lives. I'd thrown myself back into the nonprofit, organizing after-school programs for kids in rural Texas towns, the kind where opportunity is as scarce as rain in August. But the story lingered like a bad hangover. Reporters called, but I picked my battles, only speaking when it could help others. One evening, as the sun dipped behind the hills, painting the sky in oranges and pinks, I sat on my condo balcony with a glass of sweet tea, scrolling through more emails. Your story inspired me to leave my toxic home, one read. It warmed me, but also reminded me of the cost. Laura came over with takeout from our favorite barbecue joint ribs, coleslaw, the works. You've gone viral in the best way, she said, plopping down. But how are you holding up? I shrugged. Better than expected. No more pretendin'. We ate in comfortable silence, the city buzzing below. Then my phone rang, the estate lawyer again. Emily, we've got developments. The altered will. We're filing for investigation. Signatures don't match. And there's witness testimony from your dad's old assistant, said he never intended changes. My heart raced. Fraud charges. Possible. Up to you how far to push. I mulled it over that night, pacing the living room. Revenge?
No.
Justice? Maybe. But the new ending I wanted was humane, accountability with room for growth. Next day, I met with the lawyer in his oak-paneled office, sunlight filtering through blinds. Let's offer a settlement first, I said. They admit fault, restore the original will, and donate to a family counseling charity. He raised an eyebrow. Generous. It's not about winning. It's about healin'. Word got back fast. Mom called, voice shaky for once. Emily,
Can we talk?
in person. I agreed to neutral ground, a park by Lake Austin. Benches under live oaks dripping with Spanish moss. She showed up looking older. Lines etched deeper. I messed up, she said.
Sitting.
We all did. Katie's a mess. Henry's gone quiet.
Dad.
He would have hated this. I nodded. He did hate secrets. That's why I'm pushin' for truth. Tears welled. We thought we were protectin' the family. By Eras and me? Silence. Settlements on the table. Take it. And we move on. Katie texted later. Sorry, doesn't cut it. But I'm getting help. Therapy. Henry? Radio silence. Rumor was he'd skipped town. Dad's memory loomed large. I visited his grave. Wildflowers in hand. Wish you were here to see this, I whispered. The wind rustled. Like an answer. Back home. I drafted a follow-up video. Not explosive, but reflective. Betrayal hurts. But forgiveness, with boundaries, heals. Views climbed. But softer comments. Inspire and growth. The charity donation came through $50,000 to family mediation services. Mom attended a session with me. Awkward, but a start. Katie joined one. Tears flowing. I was jealous, she admitted. You had it together. I hugged her, first in years. Not fixed, but mending. Article updates, from fraud to forgiveness. I hosted more groups, teaching resilience. One night, a woman shared, your story showed me families can redeem. As stars dotted the Texas sky, I felt the lesson. Revenge destroys, truth rebuilds. As spring bloomed in the hill country, bluebonnets carpeting the fields, I found myself reflecting on the path from pain to peace. The investigation wrapped with no criminal charges, settlement accepted. Original will reinstated. I didn't take a dime beyond what Dad intended. The rest went to trusts for grandkids' education. Mom started volunteering at my nonprofit. Awkward at first, but genuine. Never realized how much you do here, she said one day. Helping pack backpacks for kids. Katie and I met for coffee at a diner off I-35. Neon signs buzzing. Henry left me, she confessed. Said it was too much drama. I sipped my coffee. Karma's a funny thing. We really talked about childhood rivalries. How Mom pitted us. I want to make it right, she said. We started small, lunches. Then a road trip to Big Bend. Stargazing in the desert. Family's what we build, I told her under the Milky Way. Dad's old friends reached out. Sharing stories. Andrew always bragged about you. It healed holes I didn't know were there. Laura, you're glowing. Girl. The lesson? Hold folks accountable. But leave room for change. My final post. From erased to embraced. The power of second chances. Comments. Beautiful redemption arc. By summer. The ranch house felt like home again, not perfect, but progress. Family dinners without agendas. Laughter genuine. I met someone new. A teacher from work.
Norus.
The story faded from headlines, but its impact lingered in lives touched. Article. Healing After Betrayal. A Texas Tale. I closed the chapter with a book deal. Memoir on family dynamics. Dedication. To Dad. Who saw me. Lesson light. Forgiveness isn't weakness, it's strength with heart. As I drove the open roads, wind in my hair, I knew. Truth sets free. Love mends.